Good. Okay, perfect. So, hello. So, this is the first live session from the series that was inspired to do the conditioning by type. So, here we are starting from you, beautiful projectors. And as I mentioned, I have a lot of projectors around me. I would say probably, I don't know, because I haven't counted. It's not that I count, but maybe roughly half of the people who come for readings, for human design readings, are projectors. So it must be some sort of projector magnet. And it's really great. So so I said, Kari, I'm a manifester. I said I'm a manifester. Yeah. So I'm a 5-1 emotional manifester. I'm on the lax of uncertainty. So it's 8, 14, 55, 59. So my 59 is the barrier breaker. It's, I believe, how when I show up as myself, how I break, the barriers. So generally, people love to open up to me. So if, you hear the manifestor have repelling aura, we do, but people like to, I think it must be, thanks to 59 gate, it must be approachable somehow for the right people. Obviously, not for everybody, right? We're not for everybody. And same as you. I mean, everyone, like we have our own magnetic field. This is how we attract people, right? So, what I would like to is, I would like you to, you know, I'm not going to kind of like tell you what to do as a projector, right? This live session isn't to tell you what you should do, to tell you how you should live. Isn't It's more about my aim when I was inspired to do it. My aim was to show a different perspective. See, I have open head and open ajna. I'm not here to be certain, right? And even my approach to things, it changes. I'm just so inspired, so it changes. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you how to live. It's entirely up to you. So if there is something that that I say, I show a perspective, it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. We can take or leave it. And and my aim is more about maybe showing you some different ideas, showing you some different perspective. And I know that you know a lot about what it means, like even from books, from what Ra shared, what it actually means to be a projector. But the truth is, when I even read about other types, when I read about what it means to be a manifester, I'm like, this is what Ra brought to the world, which I'm like truly grateful for. But this is for us to experiment with that. This is actually for us to live, to see what works for us. And it's not that I agree with everything, right? Because I believe it's like there is a knowledge like in the books, through the words, but that's for us. That's really for us how we gonna use it. And of course we want to use it for our benefit, for the benefit of all. But at the end of the day, it's our own life. So yeah, just take it or leave it. I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's more about showing maybe just different ideas. I've got lots of ideas as a manifester. And I also have 11th gate. So it's a gate of ideas. It's like, yeah, and I might have maybe a different perspective. And also what I mentioned is that I really observe people. So I know something about human design. I don't know everything. And I'm still experimenting my own life. I'm still experimenting what it means to be a manifester. Mm, I know something, but it's like if we just, and I love to observe. This is how I mostly, learn about human design, is by observing. And Magda, she's a friend of mine. She's here with us. She's my soundboard, so I really share with her a lot. And she knows, like, I would honestly love to observe like Magda. That's what I've observed. I want to share with you, some of my experiences and how I see how I apply human design, how I feel about this, what happened, and like all those sort of things. So Magda says she loves my observations. Yeah, maybe they're just different. They're just mine. I don't know if they're different. They're just mine. See, also my personality sun is in gate 8 in fifth line. So I'm here to be different. My expression is different. See, I've got pink hair, shaved hair, and and that's me. I'm finally feel free to show up as myself. And the more I'm in my own experiment, the more I actually experiment with what it means to be a manifester and how I relate to people. And the more it's like, I'm able to peel all these layers by layers, and there's many layers. I've probably only unpeeled just a little. There is so much that I don't know yet, I'm not conscious of. And and this is okay. And what I want to tell you, and I think this is something many of us can relate to. When we learn something like human design, gene keys, astrology, or any kind of systems that can help us to really know ourselves, we kind of become impatient. And it's not, and even the word impatience is quite people think that it's associated, like kind of like, for projectors. It's not. We are all in some way impatient, like we want to know it all, or we want to know it, or we want to just live by our design and not fall into the shadow. I don't believe it's ever going to happen. I think it's always going to be something that we will be pulled into this shadow part of us. So please know that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not to know everything, today or by tomorrow or by next month. We need to really be gentle. That's what we need, really, be gentle with ourselves. We need to be loving. Like, we need to give this love to, you need to give this love to yourself. Mm, and it's like, you as a projector, you are so focused on the other, so just so easy to give love to others. I also have gate 27, and I can easily fall into the shadow of be like to overgive. I'm kind of this nourisher, and it's my Venus. So I can really, I observe how I fall into the shadow, of overgiving, of like over serving, and we need to really remember about ourselves. So please, that's kind of how I want to start. Be gentle. We don't need to know it all. It's like what I actually like in Gene Keys, that how the sun, personality sun, is called life's work. And this is how I see this is life's work, right? It's not something we master within a month, 3 years, or 7 years. I don't even believe that we can even fully decondition within 7 years. When I speak to people, like even you in many groups, people like, oh, I'm 7 years into my uh, experiment. I'm 12, but they, but when you actually, look through the comments, they can be quite nasty, for others. It's not. There's. I wish it would be a magic wand, magic pill, or something, a button that could reset us, but that's not. It's a life's work, and I love Gene Keys as well for that. And I truly believe it's a life's work. It's a life work for us. It might not be a life work for like future generations, because we have this knowledge. When we apply it, when we back up this with our own action, and we raise our children, grandchildren, and show people, we don't even have to have children, because we don't have to have kids, because other people observe us, and this is how also they learn. So hopefully that's what I wish for my children, right? That I don't want it for them to be their life's work. But it is life's work for me, and for you, for most of you too. Yeah, we are every single one of us is deeply conditioned. And so it takes time. So please, yeah, that's kind of, my speech, opening speech. Please be gentle and don't expect to know it all. Even, it's like the your projectors. That's what we going to focus on you, on beautiful projectors today. Your strategy is to wait for invitation. And we don't really know what it means to wait for invitation. It's not something that, it's something you are uncovering. I don't know what it, I don't know what it feels like, as a manifester. I'm an energy type. We are generally, like, our legacy is how we've always lived. Like, there are people who, most of us are manifesting or generating. You're not. So, it's like, and also you are one of the newest type. It's like you kind of like babies, and we are, I think it's like we are all babies in it, to be honest. So it's, yeah, I feel that it's like we really uncovering this, and it's really new to all of us, and especially to you, because you came to this world only, what was it, in 1781? Yeah, was it 1781, I think? So, right, Kari says that your life's work is 44. Yeah, that's my Pluto. Hmm. Let me see your comments. I would really like to engage with you because, I can talk. I've got motorized throat, but I like to really go back to the 5-1 projector, Kira 5-1, emotional projector. Angel, I'm here for my boyfriend. Yes, we spoke and in DMs. Sacral 6-2, 6-2 again. Brilliant. It must be lacks of incarnation. Kari says lacks of defiance. Yeah, okay. Angels, my son, emotional projector. You are right about future generation. They seem to get it without diving. Yeah, and diving into it. That's what we really want for them. But for them to, if you want life to be easier for them, we need to back it up with our own actions. We need to find the way to ourselves. So what I'm gonna do, I've asked you for some charts. So I've got 16 charts, and even though it's not that I'm going to do personal readings. My aim here is more about, we have a chart, we have a question, but most of you will actually hopefully well be able to relate, somehow in one way or the other to what is the chart about, what is the question. I'm sure there will be many you can really relate to. So I hope I did, that's how I did it. So I sorted the questions in kind of a way that I would like to paint a picture to help you on your deconditioning process. So that's why I kind of like group them, so then we can kind of like start from the beginning, what it really means to be a projector. I don't know what it means to be a projector. I have no idea what it means to be a projector. I can only observe. I can only observe. I can see how you relate or how you relate to other types. And it's a beautiful observation. Could I please just one more reminder, if you could make sure that you mute it, just because, I don't want them to be distracted. If you can, there is this in the bottom, in the left bottom corner, that is kind of like a microphone. If you tap on it, you can unmute yourself. I should probably have a way to be able to unmute everyone. I don't think, Magda, you're the virtual assistant. You are a tech person. I don't know how to do this.
Deb, you muted yourself and then it unmuted again. Do you know how to do that?
Oh, I've done it. I think I've done it. Oh, I've done it. Yes. Yes, I found it. Let me check. Yes, we're all, yes, figure out how to do it. I have it here, but thank you. Thank you, Kari. Okay, let's see. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. I might not be able to answer them all, and I'm not even sure, because I have 16 charts, like quite a lot. I don't know how much I've spent on them, but I might not be able even to go through them all. We'll see how we go. I don't want also to keep you here forever. What Magda says, I also think the 6-1, when learn about the whole model, you want to be the model now. Yes, yeah, exactly. We absolutely, that's what, yeah. And in reality, it's a long, yeah, lifelong thing. I have to keep reminding myself about that. Exactly, every single one of us. And I can also be really, I'm like even angry at myself that I should know it all now. It's like I study this and I don't, and I still make these mistakes, and we do, and I always will. And I wake up in this like funny mood with the shadow of my 55 gate, not seeing um yeah, not seeing the whole picture. We are learning indeed every day. Right, so let me, as I said, I'm gonna share the screen, but they're not kind of like personal reading. It's more about for me to give you some ideas, to give you some perspective that you can all use it. There will be some personal guidance, obviously, that I also want to provide, but it's something generally that we can all you can most of you can relate to. Okay, let me see. I let it it's Canva. This is okay. Can you see that? Perfect. Brilliant. You can see it because I have. I need to change the screen. Right. Okay. Right. So maybe just I have. Let's maybe start from and focus on the invitation. I mean, I don't really this, as I said, this session isn't about educating you, right? This isn't about. It's more about practicality. It's more about, I'm 5-1 prof at the end, so I like to bring this practicality. So that's my thing. This is how I like. It's not so much like this education, but let's just highlight some, because you know more probably than me I mean, you do more than me what it means to be a projector, and you know more what the challenges come from that. What are your dilemmas? And that's why I wanted to know your questions, and also my motivation is neat. And this is how I also, when I see what you struggle with, I can provide my solution. Not is also like, no, I don't want to, as I said, I don't want to provide the solution, like tell you what you should do, just to propose some ideas and maybe different perspective. So here's this chart, and the question is, as a projector, my biggest challenge is to find the right path for myself, mostly career and work-wise. Since I'm into human design for the last half year only, I try to listen to my authority. For example, I did apply for a seasonal summer job, mostly to save my upcoming Camino de Santiago, and I understand it's not for me long term, but just to make some savings daily. I do sell vintage clothing, enjoy some parts of it, but some comes harder to put my attention and energy to. So I feel struggle in that field, and it doesn't seem the right fit for me anymore. I feel drawn to animals, and it really makes me happy to be around them. So I feel that would be something I would enjoy to do. I guess I need to wait for some invitation for that then. Yeah, and it's really important for you projectors. That's really, I mean, for all of us. But because this is for you, so I'm referring to you a lot here, obviously. So that you do what you love, and you don't need invitation for everything in your life, right? You don't need an invitation to go shopping. You don't invitation. You don't need to invitation to read a book, and you don't need an invitation to study something. You are here to really master something. You are here to master a system. You are here to be a master at something. And so you don't really need invitation to explore. If you know that something brings you joy and you just want to do it, you can do it. Um, the only thing is this invitation. What actually invitation means? I would like to hear from you when you hear, right, that you need to wait for an invitation. How do you feel? How does it make you? How does it make you feel? If you can share in the comments. Yeah, or even when you hurt, or when you even now read, like I need to, or remind yourself that I need to wait for an invitation. What emotions and what feelings it brings up? Please share. Um, it's really important, yes. So then it can help you on your deconditioning process to really even stop for a moment, and of course waiting makes you feel probably impatient. And we are all here. Most of us are here to wait for something anyway, even manifestor. I'm an emotional manifestor. And my truth isn't in now, right? My truth is in, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe next month. Um, impatient, yeah. Alana, expect to be valued and recognized, warm and fuzzy. Yeah. So it's probably like when you're impatient, is it like in waiting for an invitation, is it something that I really want you to even maybe write it down somewhere in the notes, because I would like to invite you to contemplate on that, to go really, really deep, right? This is the part of the deconditioning process, to observe yourself, to watch yourself, what emotion it brings up every time, even though whether you remind yourself that you have to wait, whether you read about this that you have to wait, and even like impatient, you feel impatient. But even what's deeper? Is it something that you worry maybe that you miss out? You worry about, there is this underlying fear of something, and addressing this fear, it really is going to help you, on your deconditioning journey. It's going to help you to make your life easier, to befriend, to love yourself for being a projector, to love yourself. You are special. You're really special. You're not like the other 80% of humanity. You're special. What else do we have? um, from a fear of missing out. Yeah, expect to be. Oh, I've read that, and that's how I feel for correct invites. I used to feel disempowered and annoyed. Now I create my own invitations to a degree, or just chill. I really you create your own invitations. It's, what, it's like sometimes what like I hear about, especially like when I read some posts and comments in groups, in various groups. I'm like, people like projectors, oh, I want to go out, I want to dine out, but you need to wait for invitation. Why don't you take yourself on a date? Why don't you take yourself? You don't need. invitation for that. You can take yourself on a date, make it special for yourself. Um, yeah. So I actually like this, create my own invitations to a degree. Yeah. And just chill. That's really wonderful, Sasha. I really like it. Waiting for the invite to feel ignored and lost. Right. And I want to go back to Kari. You have some input as a spelling projector, that if that's what you're asking. Okay, is this something you want to share? Maybe do you want to talk? Do you prefer? Is this something you want to share?
Well, I kind of found it really, I'm 76 years old and I've been doing personal work for 4 decades.
Mhm.
So I've got a lot of experience of going through the 3 different phases of the 6 before I knew about human design. And one of the things I noticed about me before I found out about splenic projectors was that when I started getting off course, for instance, I know I should be doing something, and instead I'll start going through my Facebook or something. I get this knot way up high in my stomach, feels like anxiety. And the
Okay.
minute I recognize that's what it is and I stop doing it, it goes away. So it took years to recognize that I was doing that. And then finally figured out that's the way my spleen talks to me for a no. Now, for a yes, years ago, I found out if I didn't know what to do, when I went to sleep at night, I'd say, okay, I don't know what to do, tell me. And within 7 to 12 minutes, it feels like you're asleep. How do you know? It feels like all of a sudden I'll get an answer. Like my mother was in dire conditions and nobody else in the family could help her. And I owned my own cafe and bar all by myself. So how was I going to help her, kind of thing? So when I went to bed one night, I said, okay, you got to tell me what to do here because I just don't know what to do. And just like an angel putting its hand on my shoulder, it said, this is your mother and this is now, and you can always make more money. So my yeses, like I have at least 5 of them, all came by turning it over. And my no's all came as this tight knot in the top of my stomach. Now, I wouldn't have thought that that's splenic, but I'm a splenic projector and that's how I get it. So that's why I just wanted to tell people that you don't feel it where you think your spleen is necessarily. That's it.
Exactly. That absolutely. That's what we actually feel. We feel that this. It's quite confusing in human design because most people think that the spleen is what the spleen is. It's not. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Beautiful, and that is going to help many. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That's actually a great example. I love this, and I really want to refer to that. So yeah, what really dig deep into and be with it, right? Contemplate on it. What those feelings you receive, right? About you feel like what it means for you to wait for this invitation, so that can help you on your deconditioning journey and really tap into, go deeper, deeper. It's not like what it means to be impatient, go deeper, right? What it means to be impatient, what is the fear, and sit with it and be with it, address it, observe how it runs, because this fear, and it runs its show. It does, right? If we tap into that, it runs its show. And so that's the really invite you to observe, to contemplate on that, to watch how you relate to people. What happens in, like, what like the spleen, whether it doesn't, whether you, maybe you're splaying it, generally, like, your body speaks to you in some way on the other, right? No matter whether you have spleen defined or not, your body's gonna give you these nudges. And I only recently actually figured it out, how my body talks to me when it wants to tell me when enough is enough. Like, for example, I don't know, drinking coffee with my friend, right? I'm at her house, and it's like it's so easy for me to stay a bit too long and then be, burned out and be overwhelmed. So I only recently tapping into, this is how my body speaks to me. That's what, it was beautiful example. Like how you shared with us. And yeah, because our body speaks to us in some sort of a language, it's a matter of really tapping into it and observing yourself and feeling this and making mistakes as well. That was a part of the experiment. Right, so let me see, go back to what I wanted to say, because I'm a bit, I think, lost the plot. um, right, okay, so this person, the challenge is to find the right path, and generally, especially career wise. So yeah, it's we know that especially for career wise, you are here to master something and to be recognized and recognized for something. So that's what Ra, spoke and talked a lot about, that we no sorry no we like projectors, that you projectors, you need to wait to be recognized for your um power, for your strengths, for this mastery, and then invite it in, and then so then you can either guide others, you can use your powers and guide other energy types, and generally be. So that's also the carrier. It's how, sorry, mm, so something popped up on my screen, and I got distracted a little. Okay. I also want to really mention about this, that um, it's important for you to love, to do what you love, so what gives you joy. And even though these invitations, sometimes, it takes time, but what we also know that the invitations actually come from waiting. But also, I often get asked, okay, so what do I do, while I wait? You take care of yourself, you study, you go out, you meet people, you out them and about. And it's like, see, if we didn't have, even like, I'm going to use your example, Carrie, we didn't have this meeting here, if we didn't have this session, we wouldn't be able to know your wisdom you just shared with us, and your wisdom about how your spleen works, where you figured it out before you even knew human design, how it guided you, how your system guided you. If you didn't show up here, you wouldn't be able to share this, right? So that's important for you to still show up, and you're connectors. And believe me or not, I observe when I'm in groups of people, and I know, like, for example, I don't know, someone is a projector. I don't know all the, obviously, I don't know all the charts, because I don't ask all of my friends for charts and, for this information, but I know some. And I'm not sure if you have even noticed that, but actually, when you're out and about, when you're in groups, you generally always receive invitations. You always receive invitations to talk to someone. You are very approachable. Your aura is really magnetic. And I know, there is this dilemma in you, that you won't be recognized, right? That you won't be able to share. But somehow it's like your aura does the thing. Your aura does its job. And when I observe, when I'm like, it was like about two months ago or so, I organized a night out. There was 10 of us. We went out, and there was obviously myself, manifester. I don't know what other girls were, but I knew that at least one of them, my best friend, she's a projector. She was out and about, and she was the only one who was really in the center. Like, people really, other girls, they wanted to engage with her. They really, were asking her questions. And I observed it as a manifest. I was obviously sitting on the edge, observing. And but it was a beautiful dance that I observed, right? Between projector, her, and other girls. It's, you really get invited a lot. I know it's so easy to fall into this trap, and and fear that you miss out, that you won't be seen, you won't be heard, that you won't be able to share your wisdom. But when you somewhere, you're really approachable. People, somehow you magnetize them, right? You attract them. And of course you won't be recognized by for who you are. Obviously you won't be recognized for who you are by all of the people. You won't. You won't. um, but that doesn't mean that you don't receive invitations. And I really would like to invite you now to think about, to really kind of like go back, right? A memory, and think about what was the last invitation you received, even the tiny one. Obviously, maybe it wasn't something that changed your life. It was, maybe it wasn't even really important. But when when was it that you got seen? That you really felt seen? When was it? When was it? What happened? Can you tap into this? Can you go back and think about this one invitation, and then think about more? How did you feel? How it happened? That you were just showing up as you, and your aura did the thing. You know what? I believe um, that we underestimate the power of our aura. I really see that our aura, just the aura, does the thing. And even see it like myself, right? I don't always have to talk. I don't even have to say anything. And I see how other people are impacted by just me standing next to them. And your aura guides people as well, right? Your aura also does the thing. Um, and I sometimes, laugh at my friend, projector friends. It's like we laugh that we don't need it. Obviously, of course, we talk a lot, right? That we talk a lot, but we laugh sometimes, but that we don't need to talk. We could just be sitting next to, each other, and our auras would do. I would open up, because I'm quite happy as a manifestor to some people to open up, and you're also able to guide me if I want to, if I open up to you, and I love it. Mm, so yeah, I'm not always there, right? I'm not always available for that. That doesn't mean that it's not possible. It is possible. It might be different feeling for you, obviously, to penetrate and manifest, to penetrate a generator, but that's still possible. That's still doable. If obviously, if we approach it correctly, right? If I can really see, if I don't want to, then I'm close, right? I'm really but if I want to open up, that's really yeah. So yeah, it really, so like this person feels drawn to animals. So absolutely, see what you love to do, what brings you joy, what are those things. Maybe you already know a system, you are here to master a system. What is this system, right? It doesn't mean it has to be human design, it has to be astrology, that's what it's known as a system, but it could be like animals, right? It could be, I don't know, different things. What is it that, what what is your mastery? And also what I see, what I believe, how I see projectors is like, recognize yourself. I really want to invite you to start recognizing yourself, to focus on what you're good at, to focus on this mastery, to focus on what you know. You know a lot just by speaking to people, by being with them. You know so much about the other. And that's the school of life for you as well. So it doesn't mean that you have to have certificates or diplomas, on walls. That's the school of life. Observing people, getting to know them, seeing how they relate, and it's gonna tell you a lot. And you are here to guide all of us into the new future, right? Yeah. So use this mastery of life, and do it. Don't stop. and recognize yourself. So that's the invitation for you to start recognizing yourself. Study your chart. You want to be recognized, but do you actually recognize yourself? Right? Let me know. Just let me know in the chat. Do you recognize yourself? Or you want to speak up? I'm really. Do you really think that you recognize yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Do you see your strengths? Do you see your mastery? Angel says, I know he does not. Yeah, your mental projector friend. What does it look like? What, Alana, you mean? Not just at 65. Yeah. Recognize yourself. Really invite you to recognize yourself, to be recognized. You need to know what you are recognized for. You can't be recognized for who you are not. So that's why when invitations come, and they come, and they come, I know you receive, all of you, daily, probably some tiny invitations that you can be grateful for, that can give you joy, even a smile, the grocery store. They might not be life changing. I love this cat. Yeah, and of course they not. I mean, even when people approach you, it's not necessarily they all recognize you. But yeah, it's just really an invitation to know your mastery, to know what you're good at. To be recognized, you need to recognize yourself. To be able to accept the invitations that are right for you, you need to know what you're accepting. It's not, I heard, I can't remember who said that, maybe Ra or somebody else. I don't know where I actually heard that. Don't accept anything less than an invitation. Don't accept anything less than an invitation. And I'm not talking here about an invitation. You don't want to be, invited into something that you are not. You don't want to be recognized for something you are not. So that's why I really invite you to study your chart, to study your definition, which are the areas that are defined. That's what you're here to be recognized for what's defined in your chart. And really, really, really study what you are not, right? Study all the whiteness, study all the openness. And if you receive an invitation from your openness, that's not who you are. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, let's come up. I need to make up something. Let's say that someone approaches you and sees, okay, you make a lot of money. They see you as rich, or, that you having a success in the business. But you do, let's say, diets or something, right? Let's say. And this person goes, okay, I really want to know how you do this. So can you show me? Can you teach me how I can make, I don't know, 100K a month? That's why we can see this all over social media. How I can make 100K a month. And then it happens that you have an open ego center, right? So really here to it's not that you can teach this person, but what I mean is like that this person kind of like sees you, wants you to give him the results, right? To prove and that you can do it. So that means that you are kind of this person is recognizing you for your openness, for what you are not. Here to prove something. You're not here to guarantee anything. You're not here to promise. And if you engage into that, right, you accept this invitation, you accept this invitation from your open centers, right? From what you, if you're not, it doesn't mean that you can't help this person to reach 100K, but not to promise, right? So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so study your openness and see if you are recognized by your openness. That's not quite what you are. And it's so easy, how our openness is quite magnetic. We are really attracted to definition. My undefined root loves defined roots, right? Really loves to be restless and hook up to it. But that's what I'm not. So if someone wants to recognize me for my undefined root, well, that's not who I am here. Yeah, recognize me for my something that I am. Kari, I have some info on being recognized too. If you want me to share, absolutely I do. I want you to share. I want you to give us your wisdom.
Okay. So I've been studying human design gene keys for 4 or 5 years, and I've mainly been concentrating on me. I haven't concentrated on learning about my children or my parents or my friends. I wanted to understand me. And this thing about being recognized in invitations kind of just always hung out there. So one day I was thinking over my lifetime. And when I was a teenager, I was really, really, really good at math. And so I got a job after school doing the books in a furniture store. And aside from that, my talent, I thought, was making people laugh. I would do anything. I'd take a pie in the face. I'd get dirty. I would do anything to make somebody laugh. And I kind of thought if I was going to have a purpose, I was going to be the second Carol Burnett. That's who I thought I was. Loud, noisy, funny girl. And I'm 15 years old. And one day this guy comes into the furniture store and he asked to speak to me. So the manager came back and got me in my cubicle and said, there's this guy that wants to talk to you. Long story short, he said, my name is so-and-so. I'm a talent manager and I have a band that needs a girl singer. And you were suggested to me, would you come meet my band and sing? So my immediate reaction was, I know about these guys that come and find girls from Minnesota when they're innocent and they pull them into Hollywood and get them into drugs and prostitution, and I wasn't going to fall for it. So that was my first reaction. So I said, no, I'm not falling for this. And I'm not a singer. I make people laugh. I've never sung anything in my life. So he kept patiently trying to tell me here's my card, here's my whatever the case may be. And so I took his card. I went home that night and I told my mom how proud I was that I told this guy that I knew what he wanted and I wasn't going to give in. I wasn't going to be the next Minnesota girl who got sucked into blah. And my mom said, how do you know he's not telling the truth? And so we invited he and his wife over after dinner to talk to my mom and dad. And his band was going to be playing. I was in Minnesota across the border. I was legal to go into places where there was drinking. In Minnesota, I wasn't. So my girlfriend and I accompanied his wife and him to the place where his band was going to be playing on Friday night. So we got there, and most people can picture this in the back of a saloon or a bar where there's this big room that's a dance floor, and then there's booths all the way around the edge of the dance floor. That's what this was. And in one of the corners was a band up on a stand. And I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just, ooh, this is fun, And the guy who's supposedly the manager says to me, do you want to go up and sing with them? And I said, no. I don't know any songs. I mean, if you think about your child or your teenage years, singing in the car to the radio, that's what my extension of singing was. Didn't know the words to any song, made them up as I went along. And so I said, no, absolutely not. So about 5 minutes later from the bandstand comes tonight we have a visitor from the Twin Cities who's come to sing with her. Let's give her a big hand of applause. And everybody's applauding. And I'm sitting there 15 years old, mad as hell. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. And they just kept applauding. And so I said, oh, all right. So I walked up to the bandstand. The band says, what do you want to sing? No idea, right? And I said, 1,000 Stars in the Sky. So they said, okay, what key do you do it in? What's the key? I have no idea. So they said, sing a little bit. I did. They played along and we sung 1,000. They played, I sung 1,000 Stars in the Sky, making up the words as I went along. It was interesting and fun. And I got done and I got a standing ovation. And I went, that's interesting. You know, I ended up joining that band. The band's name changed from the Flares to Carrie Lee and the Flares. We traveled all over central Minnesota in high school, playing at places. That was my job for the next 12 years. And the most spiritual thing I've ever done in my life. When I'm on stage creating notes while the band's creating their notes and they all fit together like this, I'm not aware of anything. I'm not aware of the audience. I just know that I'm in this harmony of creating notes. I didn't go after that. The invitation came out of nowhere. And I can name 3 times in my life when I did not market myself, when I did not go for something, that an invitation came into my life. I can also talk about times that I tried to market myself, even as a singer, nothing. When I try to market myself, nothing, 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 nothing. When I wait to be recognized, and God knows who by, then they come. So I think that changed my whole idea of this recognition and invitation thing by those stories. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much. And yeah, I love these kind of stories, right? And I love to read in groups. When I like read stories, like I waited. It just things came from nowhere. Invitation came from nowhere. I'm like, wow, amazing. I love these stories. It kind of like backs up that Raul was right. Yeah, it's not that one, yeah, it's nice to hear stories. I really like to hear these stories. So thank you so much, Ker, for sharing that. And it's really inspirational for other people. Like you said, when you initiated, when you tried, nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened. Or even if something happened, probably wouldn't the experience itself wouldn't be nice, or something would have happened that, yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
At this stage in my life as an entrepreneur, a few years ago, as we were all trying to be entrepreneurs, they kept saying, do a weekly YouTube or Facebook video. Make sure you tell a good story. Make sure you have a call to the action on the end. I have 104 videos that I did on Facebook, and then I put them on YouTube. Crickets. Until somebody told me, stop doing that. You're trying to market yourself. You will get nowhere doing that. So I stopped. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love these kind of stories. Okay, I'm gonna carry on. I don't want to be. We can talk and talk. Are you here available for another 5 hours? I'm joking. We can all talk. Right. The next one is a projector. I struggle with determining what is my unique gift to share the world. That's why I grouped them, to kind of like paint a picture. As a projector, I stand the conventional job. I know being in alignment for projector's energy. I support myself. as a so how do I support myself as a master my unique gifts? How do I focus and pour my energy into unique gifts? I'm concentrated about survival for basic needs, pleasure. As a projector who is traditionally unemployed, I struggle with navigating, searching, applying for job openings, and it is in alignment with my energy to apply for jobs or to wait for an employer to contact me via platforms such as Indeed. Right, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm not sure if any of you read my post in the group, the conditioning by human design and gene keys. When I posted this, it was actually a story about my manifesting generator husband. But that's something that you can really relate to as well. Like, the generator's aura, the life needs to come to them. So every time, like when I actually spoke to my husband and we kind of looked back, looked back for like over 20 years. So this is actually his contemplation, right? He shared with me, Ola, for the last at least 20 years, all the jobs that he received, they literally came. So of course, during that 20 years, he applied for jobs, crickets, right? Crickets, nothing. But only the jobs that he actually accepted, that came to him. And I really, what he did, he posted his CV onto Indeed. And that's how people, and even then he's employed now, he's not looking for a job, but he keeps getting offers, right? I'm not like every day, but some like every so often he receives a phone call, and because people are interested, and obviously his sacral says no, so he sends them away. But yeah, I think it's a really good way for generators, for projectors to apply to post your on Indeed. And even when you speak to people ask how are you, telling them that's an invitation to talk about how are you, what is happening, what is happening in life, telling them, yeah, but I'm doing this, looking for a job. And that's how my husband also got a few of the jobs where that someone knew someone, right, who knew someone, and they were looking for someone. So that's also, and yeah, word of mouth, it really works in these days as well. And also it's like if someone knows someone who knows someone who's looking for an employer, so an employee is also a great way for projectors, because it's a referral, isn't it? It's if it's a referral, it means that this person really recognizing you. Yeah, it's a great way. So don't be shy not telling people about that you're looking for a job, right? That you open for. It's not that obviously you knock to the door and tell everyone, but people do ask you, how are you doing? What is happening? Okay, that's an invitation to tell them, I'm doing this. And by the way, I'm also looking for a job. I'm unemployed. And it's a really great way. And, then they tell someone, they hear something. And, the great I love your story, Kari, because it really shows us sometimes, that we just need to be uh, at the right place, at the right time. We meet a random person and our life changes. And your life changed for the next 12 years. You work for them for the next 12 years because it was an unexpected meeting. You were at the right time, at the right place. You met someone approached you, and your life changed. So go out. Don't stay home. Don't shut, the doors. Of course, then if you hermiting too long, you just by yourself all the time, that's really less likely that they knock to your door and say, oh, I think I'm a psychic. I know that you're good at this.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
It's because I was out there shining my light. I was out there entertaining and making people laugh and doing all of that stuff. So I wasn't sitting home waiting. And it was my light being seen by someone who caused the recognition. but it wasn't like I was looking for a job. I was just being my best self, not intentionally, just from the heart. And that's what we all have to do while we're waiting for the invitation, is shine. Find our skills, use our skills, show what our talents are, and let the universe take care of the rest of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Show your mastery, right? Show your talents, show your potential. Be yourself. Just be yourself and don't close yourself in the room. Go outside, go out and about. And it's like, and it's, in your story, Carrie, it wasn't like this, you actually, he knew about you because you entertain him. He knew someone who told him, wasn't it? Yeah. So see this. It's always something. Not always. Sometimes it's something that someone knew someone who saw you, who met you, who knows you. So you need to be telling people, about yourself. You need to be telling people what lights you up. You need to be telling people, you need to be showing people. It's not that only telling them. See, if I, would be telling someone that I'm good at accounting, but it's not backed up by my action. I don't do this. So, I can't expect people to, it needs to be backed up also with some sort of like who we are. Like we need to shine. We need to be ourselves, and tap into that. So yes, and what Kari said, shine while you wait. Learn while you wait, right? There is something you feel interested in, master it. Learn, study. And remember, it's not always about diploma. It's not always about, certificates. And observe people, speak to them, learn about them, study them, observe how they relate, do all these things, and don't be shy when they ask you, and you think, oh, I'm not gonna share what I do because it sounds weird. Do you know what? I'm also a psychic. I'm a channeler, and it's not something I tell everyone about this, right? And I actually had a laugh last month. I was speaking to a mom by the school, and one of the moms, like my daughter, she's 6 and she goes to school, and she went to me, oh, Ola, by the way, what do you do? And I was like, I said, I'm a psychic, and I was like, oh, what did I actually say? And she was like, oh, right. I even surprised myself. It's not something I tell people, like I'm a psychic, and it's like, oh, and she was surprised, but it's like obviously engaged. And we talked, and it's like, oh, that's really good. And she asked me something, and yeah, and it's like, so don't be shy telling people what you love. Don't be shy telling people who you are and what lights you up and all those sorts of things. So I know if you, in this particular question is, what was it? How do you support yourself? How do I support myself as I master my unique gift? I know it's, yeah, when you said we're just concerned about survival. I know it can be difficult, and it can be, yeah, but don't give up. Just speak to people. Put your CV onto Indeed. Tell people that you're looking for a job, and see what they come up. What they recognize in you. What sort of invitations you receive. And remember, you don't have to receive them all. And not receive, sorry. You don't have to accept them all, right? You need to accept only the invitation that they feel right for you. That you really want is like to do. Right. So I hope it's kind of answered. I'm gonna check the chat here if I missed anything. Right here, what we have. A lot of undefined spaces. Do all projectors mostly have undefined centers? No. And this is, yes, sometimes it happens that you might have two centers defined, any two centers apart from sacral. But I do know a projector who's got all these 8 centers defined apart from the sacral. So yeah, so it's yeah, you can have as many, but apart from sacral, yeah, so you can have all, you can have two, it really depends. What does it mean when the center have no dormant gates like the ego center? Yeah, like the ego center, right? So you can see it's like sometimes it happens in a chart that you see there are no dormant gates. There are no activations. Like the center is what we call in human design, the center is wide open. It's total is open. So if you see in this example, like solar plexus, that means the center is undefined. So it's not open. This is open, ego is open because it has no activations. If there is at least one activation in an undefined center, then we call it undefined. So what's the difference between? So if you have totally open center, it means that when you meet someone who has energy here, right? Activations here, it means that you receive it all, right? You really receive it all as it is. How it feels, what's the difference? Like in the solar plexus, there's one gate defined. So this one gate defined, if this person meets someone who defines its solar plexus, there is one theme that is always going to be fixed, is this gate, the theme of gate 22. So when people define your solar plexus, there's something that is fixed for this person is gate 22. It's this person will always feel gate 22 plus other activations, right? I hope it makes sense. But here it's like there are no walls, right? Like you're totally open. This center is totally open. There are no walls. You receive, it changes. It really changes. It feels like always different. Here in solar plexus, there is something that is always the same. So the 22 is always the same. So this is something you can, when you always feel the energy of the 22 plus something else. I had one reading with someone telling me that having many open centers was revealing how deeply I can take others in. Now, something I'm aware too, aside of feeling others deeply, is that I struggle often not feeling felt deeply in others. It brings quite a lot of loneliness, to be honest. I'm wondering how to process that feeling as a manifestor, how to properly recharge, use resources as a projector. So I would like to focus now on, it's really important also for you to understand how your aura works. We need to like all the types, we need to know how our aura works. That's, I think, the first thing we really need to understand before even we learn about our strategy, because it's really difficult for us to use our strategy if we don't understand how our aura works. So your aura as a projector is focused. Oh, I actually have this pointer. That's my children's toy, right? Can you see this? It's like a point. Your aura is focused, and it's focused and absorbs. So it absorbs, but it's penetrating, and it's actually very precise. So what you do when you meet a person, you focus and you obviously focus, absorb, and penetrate the G center. So this is where you pointed, is the G center. You penetrate the identity. and it can be quite sharp, right? And it can be really felt by people. And it's like it can really be felt, the penetrations. And that's how that's my truth, and this is how I understand this. That's why I see this, that you need an invitation to give advice, you need an invitation to share your wisdom. It's because of the aura, how the aura works, because as I said, the aura points at penetrates the G center, penetrates the identity, and it can really go deep. So for this penetration, that's why you need this invitation. It's like, I like to call you cosmic surgeon, because this is what is really happening, right? When you penetrate, the other, right? what is happening, what this other, I don't know, needs and wants, or what this other person is, what this other person is. So when you do this penetration, it's like doing a surgery, sort of, it's so deep. And what I heard, and how I see this, especially with a relationship, with the dance that you do here with generators, the aura is open, right? The aura is open, so they really open for you, but they can feel you, and it's like piercing them, like literally, like making this surgery, this operation kind of thing. So you go to the doctor, right, and you referred to an operation. It's kind of an invitation, is it? And they won't do generally unless it's like emergency, but then they probably would ask family, but they need some sort of permission to do this. That's why this is how I actually see this. It's because of the aura. Your aura is so strong, it can go so deep. That's why this invitation is important, because not everyone wants to be penetrated. They might not want this. They might not, they might not just want this. They might not ready for you. It's not personal. It's also it's really important for you to understand that it's nothing personal. It's that they're not ready. They're also on their own journey. We all have our own journey. And even though you might feel that what this person needs, or what this person needs, well, you need to remember, this person has its own authority, and you never really know what is correct for the other. You can't know. You can suggest, you can ask questions, so then this person is guided. It's kind of like the coaching sort of things works, but you can never know exactly what is correct for this person. You might guess, you might think, my mind might want to tell you what this person needs, but you can never be sure, never. So also remember, that's nothing really personal, that people might not want to hear your opinions or your advice. And of course you come from your best intentions, you want to help, but in the end of the day, they on their own trip, they are on their own experiment, they are on their own journey, and they have their own authority that they need to listen. It's like, that's why when I started this session, I wanted to really make it clear, you don't have to, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not your authority. The same like you are not, authority for these people. They have their own authorities. Like if they sacral, like generators, says no, that's a no, but that's nothing personal. It's nothing that they think that you're stupid or you don't know. No, they're just not ready. They have their own trip, they have their own journey. So please also take this into consideration, that they have their own authority, and I'm not your own authority. You're not my. So that's what it is. So back to the aura. That's why, because the aura really goes so deep. And in this case here, in this example, that this person, if you have many open centers, it doesn't matter many, you can have one, then obviously you feel the other, you feel this conditioning through this one open center. And if you have like 7 open centers, like in this example, of course you can take people deeply, because there's more centers to take in. And this is, but that's kind of, the conditioning, but you can feel them. You can really feel how they are. You can sort of like taste them. And how I'm wondering how to process that feeling as a project of right, the struggle of not feeling felt as others deeply. It brings quite a lot of loneliness, to be honest. And how to process that feeling as a projector. So what I would like to say here is, that most of the things, they're not personal. And it's also know yourself, know your value, and don't not to take this personal, and really do this work on yourself, on your own values, for who you are. Study yourself, recognize yourself. And then when you recognize yourself, you you have no agenda for the other, and but show up as yourself. How to You feel that people don't take you, deeply. Maybe they not. Maybe they just in, other types. It's like, I don't take people, as deep as you can take people. Never penetrate someone. I'm not here designed to do this. So, if I'm your friend, you might feel that I don't feel you the way you maybe feel me, if I'm open to you, because it's a difference in the aura. But also, as I said, no agenda, and trying to see that it's not really personal, but show up as yourself, be yourself, shine your light. Because the more you do this, it's so easy to be shy, and so easy, like, or to be like sit in the corner and, like, oh, just to see what comes up, and not sharing your, when you asked, then if you don't share your wisdom, you don't share your truth, you don't share what you want to say, they won't take you. Of course, they won't know you. I want to check this. This person is even too for profile, so it could be quite natural for this person to hermit. But remember, connect to people, go out. You won't be recognized, you won't receive invitations, you won't be among people if you be just sitting in your own house. And yeah, so that's maybe not like magic advice, but be yourself and show up as yourself. We need you, we need your light. You are here to guide the future us and the future generations, especially the future generations. mm,
Can I
that's
share something else that's along that subject?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody, if I'm hogging time here. It's just that this all made all the difference in the world for me when I recognized this stuff. I'm an extroverted introvert. And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how many projectors are introverts. And when I'm out as a person, I'm a corner sitter until I flip a switch. When I'm on stage, I'm an extrovert. When I'm shining, I'm an extrovert. There's a million people I've met in this world who would never in their lives believe that I'm an introvert. So it's very easy for me to not go out and show myself. The difference is doing what I love. So forget about seeing anybody, forget about what you're presenting. Just do something that you love so you shine. And then your inhibitions, okay, are closed off. They're not there. So if you think that you sit around and maybe you're hiding a little bit too much, that's very commonly the introverted side of yourself. And the only way to get to the extroverted side of yourself is to do what you love. Find your talent. Find what makes you shine. Forget everything else about human design. Find what makes you shine. And that's your first door.
Yeah. Tap into your mastery, and show us, so then we can invite you, so we know. How I'm gonna know what you love if I don't know? How possibly I can invite you on my trip if I don't know what you love, if I don't know what you're good at? By sitting at the corner, I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know. I'm a projector and I struggle with my energy concentration. Okay, self-projecting projector. Was this? Is this? 6-2. Is it 6-2? Okay. Now I want to see the arrows. Is the left. So is a quad right, quad left. So this actually person, the brain, how it's exact. I want to show what I'm actually talking about arrows here. See, all the arrows are pointing at left. So it's a quad left person. So how the brain for this person is actually designed, if you may be a left brain person, here is the brain, the upper arrow. This person is actually the brain, how the brain works is designed to be focused, and it's designed to concentrate. It's designed actually to focus. What can be like kind of making this person, maybe, I don't know what, not able to concentrate, maybe it could be open head, like receiving all this inspiration and thoughts, and therefore it's like I have an open head and open ajna, and I can really see how chaotic my mind can really become, and how it's difficult to really focus when you just focus on what this mental process that I'm not supposed to, because I'm not a logic person, I'm an open head. So it could be really this overwhelm also, really, like the 70% of time we think about what we shouldn't. We think about things that don't matter. We think about shit. We think about, it's like, why do you think about my neighbor's garden? Why I'm thinking about my neighbor? We can really think about these really stupid things. So it can really be quite overwhelming. But also for self-projecting projector, it's really important, right, to talk. This is how the self-projecting projector tap into the truth, or mental projectors, right, to find someone that this person can, from speaking, talking, to someone, can tap into his truth. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this person doesn't know that, talking and getting out, it might not even like know what it wants, what it, how things feel, and it can really be overwhelmed because it receives all. It has quite few open centers, which can also be quite overwhelming. And if you penetrate, the aura penetrates, and it also absorbs, right? So you really absorbs it all. So it can really be overwhelming. So that's what I'm suggesting. Really pay attention to what you think. Think about what are the quality of thoughts that you have, and it can really be real overwhelming, and making you all over the place. And many centers, yeah, when you receive all this energy, and you don't know that's not yours. Again, I go back to knowing your openness, and knowing your definition, knowing what's defined, knowing what's undefined. It's important, you even as, I mean, for both of them, defined and undefined. But if you know even your, like, let's say your openness now, let's focus on the openness. So then you know what is happening. You know how your shadow run its show, because it does. And the more you know about your openness, the more you know about your open centers, open gates, and all these things, it's that how the shadow runs its, how and when, and runs its show. Mm, so know this, and yeah, get to know that. Really encourage you to that. The nine position open sacral might have an influence, absolutely. Yeah, there could be many things I could talk about probably an hour, what it could cause this person to struggle with concentration. But also for projecting, like speaking, talking to someone. And this is how you tap into your truth. If you don't talk to people, if you don't speak out, because you really need to hear yourself, right? You really need to hear yourself. If you don't, that means that you have this inner chatter. Your minds run its show together with all the shadows, all the open centers, and it's very overwhelming, because something, your mind says that, your body says something different, your body says don't, your mind says, oh, why don't you, why you sit on this stuff, you should really phone this person, you should initiate, and oh my goodness, that could really be overwhelming. And I know, because my mind runs its show. I have open head. I know it's like a washing machine sometimes, like, Whoa, stop, please. Okay, let's see the next. I have the gift to take over others' energy, but the problem I have, I can't get rid of it easily. Taking a walk or a long time seems not to have. Do you have any tips, suggestions of what I can do? So yes, I want to go back to what I've highlighted about the aura. Your aura is focused, right? And it absorbs the information, right? It receives the feelings and absorbs that and it penetrates. If you really focus on people who don't recognize you, you waste your energy. You waste a lot of energy, right? You give the energy you don't have into something that you're not even recognized for, right? You don't have recognition. They don't want to hear, what you have to say. And that's what can also be that. So I'm not kind of answering this question, how to get rid of this energy, right? I want you to look at it, what can you do not to absorb so much, right? That's my point here, right? What can you do not to absorb so much? Mm, don't focus on people who don't recognize you. Don't waste your precious energy on them that they don't see you, they don't want to hear. There are many people, not everyone recognizes us. So yeah, I want to kind of like flip the coin. It's like observe and see how you spend your energy, how you invest your energy. Is it really an investment? You don't have energy, right? So if you give your attention, if you give your energy, that's an investment. It can't be, you can't just throw it away, right? You can't just freely focusing on something that it doesn't even see you, it doesn't give you this recognition. So I want to, yeah, so do you think about this, how you spend your energy? Do you spend your energy wisely? Do you invest your energy? And see from that. I want to also check something. Yeah, this person has the channel 4037. So that could also be something that adds up to being more prone to, it's a tribal channel, right? So being more prone to people, like meeting people and connecting with them and overgiving so yeah, watch, right? And this channel, it's a tribal channel, it's the ego channel. It needs to receive something back. What do you get back? Do you get this recognition? If don't focus. Don't focus on these people. See who you focus on. Spend your energy wisely. So that's how you can, at the first place, protect yourself. As an energy projector, I have all or other motors defined. How can I use my extra energy most efficiently? Do I feel the need to be active? I do feel the need to be active and find that I don't need as much sleep as other projectors from what I've read. I do rest a lot, and that helps. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. So there can be all like many really things that what can cause to that. It could be addiction to sacral, right? We honestly, and when I found out that I don't have sacral, I'm not here to work, 5 to 7. I'm not here to, I was like, I have a lot of energy. Of course, I'm, manifestor is an energy type. It's just, I don't generate this energy. But it's often, it's like it really confuses us at first. It's like, but we do have this energy, but why we have this energy? Because we were addicted to this. We are addicted to sacral energy and we think it's ours, but it's not ours in the first place. So that what could be, it might not be. I'm just suggesting, I don't know. Maybe it's not, but this is just one suggestion, right? To really think, ask yourself, am I addicted to energy? Am I needy of this energy? Right? Am I needy of this? I don't know whose chart is this. I don't know. In some, or maybe this person is here. I don't know. If you are here, just let us know. Maybe you're not. So then what could be? One of the things, one of the possibilities, right? I'm not here to tell you exactly what it is. I don't know, or hopefully you find out, you figure it out. I just want to give you some pointers to what to look at. Okay, so don't need as much sleep. Maybe you have a partner and you sleep with, sacral. So that's really also how we, pick up this. We wake up like on a high. And we are really honestly addicted to sacral. We are really needy of sacral energy. So we really need to look at our neediness. And I look at it all the time, honestly, how I can fall into this neediness, to generate and, to do and do all the time. And my undefined root lofts, when I tap into this shadow, it really amplifies it well because I have undefined root, undefined sacral. So that's, the pressure is really, really from the bottom for me. And this person is a healer, guide, what aspects of my chart can lean to create most aligned system business. I've tried resting, sleeping more than I need. I think, I don't know, can you actually, I don't know, sleep more than I need? If your body's, if you sleep, I think it just sleeps enough. I'm not sure. If, I'm not sure. I've never actually, I don't know, I never actually thought about this. Can I sleep too much? I mean, if I sleep, I think I sleep. I don't know, never considered that. But I'm like, if you sleep, you sleep. That means that this is how your body, that your body needs it. Of course, sleep might be interrupted by something, right? But I'm not sure. I've actually never thought about this, whether you can, I don't think you can actually sleep too much. That's your body needs. I find I feel even more tired and stagnant after I have experimented with that. I don't know. I just have this feeling that could actually be the sacral addiction, the addiction to sacral energy. I would like to know, please let us know whether you watching it here with us. I don't think this person is probably would tell us, show up hopefully or not, um, or let me know in the comments if you're watching it on the replay, or you can even DM me because I'm really curious. But I'm actually suggesting, think about who you live with. If you I live with my husband, he's manifesting generator, and I have a generator son. So, I have sacral pretty much defined all the time. It's not my energy, it's not mine. And it's so easy for me to, yeah, fall into this, to ride on the energy, but that's not mine. As I shared with you some time ago that I only recently tapped into this feeling how my body tells me enough is enough. It's very subtle, right? It doesn't shout to me, hey Ola, enough, just go to sleep, enough, stop cleaning the floor, enough. It doesn't shout. It's very subtle and it's easy to miss that. I don't know if it comes from my spleen or it's just how my body communicates with me. I don't know. I'm an emotional, so it could be all sorts of things. Nevertheless, I figured it out, and I really hope to be able to follow it. Of course, I'll ignore it many times. I'm sure I will, but I'm like, I hope it won't be. I hope I'll really be able to lean onto it. Like, no, okay, that's it, right? That's enough. So it is very simple. That's what we've always known how to, be on, how to ride on not our energy, how to, overuse the energy of others, how to overuse sacral. That's what we know. We don't know any differently. We weren't taught it that when you were a child, when I was a kid, I wasn't taught that. How can I tell when enough is enough when you are a mental projector? How does the body speak then? I don't know how, how for the mental projector can speak. This is really great, I think, this is what I come to: observation. Observe yourself, right? Observe these subtle nudges that you receive from your body. um the body speaks somehow, right? It has its language. It's a matter of figuring out how it tells. I don't know how it would be, of course, for a mental projector. I said I only recently figured out how it works for me. It's very subtle. It's for me, how it works. For me, well, it could be differently for you. For me, it's actually above my belly button, right? So it's kind of like my stomach. It's like kind of like butterflies, but that's not in a pleasant way. When you excited and you have these butterflies, that come from excitement, that's not that. It's kind of like a little cringes I feel in my stomach, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And of course, like, I felt it many times in the past, and I ignored it. I was so tired, and I was so even overwhelmed by the person. And obviously, it wasn't personal, right? But I was so overwhelmed by what was happening. And as a manifester, I love people, but I can't spend too long. I really pay. The price is high. The price is that sometimes my body aches. Literally, it's like what I noticed last time when I went to a concert. Oh my goodness, I went to a concert, right? And I amplified all this energy, and yeah, I wasn't tired. I was, dancing and having lots of fun. But you know what? The next day, I could barely move. I could barely move, and I was so like, I don't know, like a piece of wood. This is how I felt. So this is the price. Um, so observe. You have the feeling? Yeah, you have the feeling. Yeah, absolutely. So observe how it works for you. Pay attention to you and experiment. Right? You feel some sort of like a feeling, right? Something inside your body is telling you something. You don't know what. Obviously, it doesn't tell you in words. Your mind tells you in words. Remember, and it doesn't tell you. Your body generally doesn't tell you in words. So, okay, I feel something. Okay, I'm gonna leave what your intuition, what you think it's guiding you for. Do it, and the next time abuse it. And see the price, and then how you gonna learn? You need to try it, you need to make mistakes and make fun of yourself, right? Don't punish yourself for that. Just make fun of yourself, like, again. mm, okay, so that's it. And the healer, I'm not a business coach. I don't do this business side of thing. But what I can actually say right away, this person has a design of transmitter. Where is this? Design of transmitter. I also have this energy. It's the 2644. It's a design of transmitter. So I'm also here. What I do, I transmit source. I don't, I didn't prepare to this. I have no notes. I literally just came back with my kids from a party, from a kids' party. I drove them to Thursday, and I'm just back and literally sat here, and I'm sitting and speaking to you. I didn't prepare. I don't have, as I said, no notes. So I'm a transmitter, and this person also has design of transmitter. So but what's important for the transmitter, especially like in the business kind of thing, it needs to get paid. It's an ego. It connects ego to the spleen. It needs to get something. Ego needs to get the tribal, and ego needs to get something in return. So in this case, it's money. It needs to get paid, because why we need to get paid? Because when I think about money, I don't think about money for myself. I also think about all these people I need to pay and I think about their families. I think whether they have enough for a living. I don't only think about myself. I think about other people, and that's a tribal, right? We don't think, it's not like this egoistic thing. It's a tribal. We think about the tribe. We think that I need to make sure that they well. I need to make sure. Oh, this actually didn't realize this so dark here. Sorry, I'm just channeling. So I didn't realize it's actually quite dark in my room. So it's the design of transmitter. So that's what I can see right away. It's yeah, the transmitters. Whether it's a there are other, I'm not, I could talk about this for 2 hours, to talk how this, it could be the intuition. There's a lot of different things. So yeah, but I really want to focus more on the deconditioning part, how this can help you on your journey. As a projector, I struggle the most with discerning who is correct for me. That's my favorite subject. That's what I love talking about. For me, who not as a who is correct for me, and who not as friends, close ones. When I'm finally invited by the correct people, I struggle with authentically showing myself and opening up honestly. Even though I like the people, I stay covered distance. Again, what we spoke, what Kari shared, you really need to share your light. You won't get recognized if you don't. No way, that's not possible. And they're not psychic to know. But even though I'm a psychic, I just don't have. Oh, you must be an accountant, right? I don't do these things. And by the way, see, even me as a psychic, I do channeling readings for people. Mostly people who come for channeling session, they don't know much about human design. Some do, some don't know at all. And I don't read. I don't do my psychic things like for every person I meet. You know why? Because I believe I need an invitation for that. You know, I need, even as a manifester, I think it doesn't matter what type. If there is an energy, not mine, involved, I can't just do, you know, think on the person. I need this invitation. I need to make sure that this person wants it. I can't just, go on a no, no, watch your, don't get into a car tomorrow, I don't know, watch the cats, next week. I don't do these things, right? Yeah, absolutely not. I only do this when people come to me. They ready, they want to hear what I've got to say. And it's not what I would say, it's what the divine's got to say. It's yeah, so that's also an invitation. And then I'm hurt. Yes, because I have the attention. They wanted this. So that's my favorite subject. Why? Most people also who come to readings, they're either open or undefined G center. And this obviously is a magnetic field, undefined. So it's like, I track obviously people who are undefined. So how, if you are, can you let me know in the chat who's undefined G center? Who here has undefined G center? Undefined G center, it's your GPS. It's your GPS to even go deeper into kind of like to know the other. Kiria, yeah. Martina, undefined. Angel, yeah. Great. So that's for all of you. This is how you approach someone, or someone approaches you. You sit next to someone, and then with your G center, right? And obviously your aura penetrate. It's kind of like you've got like two tools, let's say, like let's call them tools, like two tools, how you can know the other, how you can feel the other. And of course, with undefined G center, you might not know. It's not that you don't know who you are. It's like it changes. How you feel yourself, it changes depending on who you are with, because these people, people define your G center. Therefore, so how you feel them, how you feel them, how you feel yourself, it changes. It's about being a chameleon. It changes, right? It changes depending on who you are with, right? So I like to actually, Alana as well, Kyra, unconscious on earth, and undefined G center, right? So what I really like to tell this analogy, when you approach someone, how do you know how to use your GPS that is in you to know who's right for you, who is not? I like to think about like food. When you approach someone and you feel this person, right? You really feel, you're a projector, you feel this person, and then you're undefined genes, like you have an extra GPS for that. So if a person doesn't feel yummy, it's like tasting, like you really have a taste of everyone you approach or everyone approaches you. You taste this person, you know how this person feels, whether this person is yummy. And see, if this person isn't yummy, you don't eat. You don't eat them. I mean, if this person doesn't feel yummy, it doesn't feel good to you, it doesn't taste good. It's like, would you eat a rotten tomato? You wouldn't. So would you eat a rotten tomato? Wouldn't. So if you come to, you come in contact with a person, that person doesn't feel yummy. So why do you eat, like, why do you eat this person? Why are you with this person? If this person doesn't feel yummy, why you keep eating on these rotten tomatoes? And you know what? And this, with undefined G center, also your behavior is gonna change. So if someone doesn't feel yummy, your behavior also gonna somehow back up this with action, with your behavior. And you don't want this. That's why you really, for you, it's double. For all of us, it's important to have right people in our lives. But for you especially, because this is how you even keep yourself and your body healthy. The price for you is your health. That's your price. You don't want to mess up with your health. So let me check. I was checking the spleen. So if you taste this person, if it doesn't feel yummy, then ask yourself, right? Keep asking, does it feel yummy? Does it feel, I don't know, it maybe sounds childish, but I think it's quite good analogy. People love it generally. When I talk about this on readings, people like this analogy. Does the person feel yummy? If it doesn't, don't eat rotten tomatoes. Move on, cut off this person. Or if it's like a close family, sometimes I know it's difficult to cut this person off, but maybe you can distance, you can minimize these meetings, right? Don't feed yourself with food that doesn't taste good. You wouldn't do this, right? It's so natural. If you don't like to eat something, we just don't. So stop eating people. um yeah, it's your GPS. You're gonna know, and your behavior, as I'm also mentioned, that your behavior is gonna change as well. And you feel like, okay, I'm kind of, with this person, I'm behaving really, like my behavior is strange, right? Why I'm doing this, why I'm saying these things, why I'm behaving like that. Why? Because you hooked up to this G center, obviously, to their energy, and this energy, it makes you, behave this well. If you don't want to, that person is not for you. And remember, your price is your health, and it's important. Okay. When I haven't personal with a friend, colleague, how I address it, most often experience rejection from not being. Let's cut off from not being. Oh, I can really see this on my screen. It's it's probably not being seen, or I can see not being shown understanding or given right. Yes, right. I know, I remember there's at least few of you who are 5-1 profiles. I'm a 5-1 profile. I also have 59 and 55 in my incarnation cross, right? So 5-1 profiles, please raise your hands, tell me your 5-1 profile in the chat. Anyone who either is here live with us or watching it on replay, 5-1 profile is an interesting profile because this person is asking, about problems with friends and family members or colleagues. We are not made for we are made for masses. We are made for strangers. We are great with strangers. So this is a projector. It's a 5-1 projector. Kyra is with 5-1. I'm sure you, of course, Adep is one. Where's Martina's 5-1? Yeah. Who else? Yeah. So we are not seen in family settings. We are even hardly seen by friends, but not all of them. You might really see quite unseen for who you are, even by your close friends and especially family, because we are made for strangers. We are made to network, because networking seems tribal. It's more like for a fourth line. So we are made for masses. We are made for strangers, right? We are made for systems. So you might, I'm sure it resonates with you that you feel seen by randomly met person, by, when you approach a stranger. This is how you get seen, really get seen. Or you might probably, as being a projector, there's most likely that most like your invitation that are correct for you, they probably come, most of them will come from strangers, from people who you don't know, not from your closed ones, from your friends, because they don't quite see us. They see the projection, because this is the 5th line has the very strong projection field, and people project their own shit onto us, their own trauma, shadow. We are like walking karmic mirrors for them. And then it's like, they look at the mirror, like into our eyes, and they think it's us. They keep telling, I owe you this or that, but that's not who we are. But that's they projecting their own stuff that they processing, let's say right now, or what needs to be processed for them, what is highlighting for them, what is happening in your life. So it is actually very likely for the 5-1 not to be seen by family members. That's what could come to some sort of like a problems or struggles to be seen. They don't really understand us well. They don't see us. I know my mom doesn't know me. Like, absolutely, she doesn't. Like most people, like my cousins, totally not. I'm sometimes like, they've known me for nearly 40 years, but like, I'm like, is it really, like, honestly, that's what it is. No, absolutely not. That's really common for the 5-1. So that could come from that. So study the projection. See, don't take personally things, especially that they come from close friends and family, because they project their own stuff onto you, that they are processing. So yeah, it really helped me a lot not to take things personally. When my mom keeps telling me something, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like, okay. Obviously I don't say okay, but I'm like, I know where it comes from, and I don't take this person. I know this is something she's been processing, right? So this is how they processed it. And I'm her karmic mirror, unfortunately, or fortunately. Just that's my rule. That's my rule, and I own it. I don't really have a question apart from how do you get more patience, hence be able to bite my tongue and bite and wait to be invited. Okay. So how do you bite your tongue and wait to be invited? I'm sorry, you just bite your tongue and wait to be invited. There is no button, unfortunately. And I wish I could tell you, that, under an arm, there is a button that you just switch up. I wish it was, it could help me as well. I wish we all were equipped with something like that, that we could just press the button or take a pill. There is not. And what do? I know you just bite your tongue and wait to be invited. And go back to what I said about your aura. Understanding how your aura works is going to really help you to know why you need to be invited. So that's what I've already shared. When your aura is focused and it's like piercing the generator, right? And they don't want this. They don't want to be pierced. They don't want to be, poked. it's really strong, your aura, right? You might not know this, but your aura, it can really be felt, by them. It's really strong. So it's like they really, they they feel kind of like, even I don't know how to even explain it. It's like the way they say it. Yeah, it's really strong. So to be able, so lost my plot. So what I wanted to say, I lost this thought. I'll come back, or whatever. So yeah, know this. It's like you are a cosmic surgeon, right? You don't do the surgery onto someone who doesn't want to. And I know it's you have the needs to be recognized, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You are here to be recognized, yeah, for who you are. But there's nothing wrong with the need. But look at behind what's under the neediness, right? Why? It's what we've already discussed, is that what is behind this? Why do you want, why you feel this way? Like you have a situation, like you want to say something, and then you kind of like, there's a battle in your head. Do I say it, or do I wait? Do I say it, or do I wait? And and catch yourself in this very moment. Catch yourself and ask yourself, what do I need? What is my fear? And own it, feel it, and observe, how it runs its show. um yeah, it's just observing this. We all have this neediness, we all, one or the other, we all have different kind of neediness, but we all have this. So ask yourself this, right? Contemplate on this, do the shadow. It's kind of like doing the shadow work in the very moment. Why do I want to say if I'm not invited? What I fear, what is my fear, what I'm worried about? Why do I really want this person to know this? You know what, actually, also, this is what I kind of like, my way of seeing this. I also don't tell people just, I don't give my advices freely, right? I don't. I always some wait until I'm invited, right? So, sort of. I don't just tell, like, oh, you should do this. I'm not the authority. I know I'm not the authority. Do you know what? Actually, I had kind of like, this epiphany some time ago about this, how how I see it, and how it works for me. It's every time I catch myself that I won't tell someone what they should do. I want them to give my advice, but I know that they don't want this. I and I think about this: is it okay? Do I trust that this person can do its life on their own term, or I think this person is a total fool, and this person can't do its life? That I need to tell what to do? No, I kind of like, flip this, and I have this understanding and this belief that I trust in this person, that this person is on his own journey, it's on its own experiment, and can do its life. I'm not, and it has its own authority that needs to listen, whether it knows about human design or not. It doesn't matter. They have their own mistakes to make. This is how they learn. How we learn also from our mistakes. So do I have, this is how I ask yourself when I catch myself trying to, provide my solution without they wanting it. Do I trust that this person can do its own life, or I don't? Do I feel it's a total fool, or I no? I know that, I trust in this person that can do its life. I don't feel it's stupid. I don't feel this. So I'm like, okay, so maybe I should back off. You know, this person has its right to do its own life the way she or he wants. So that's how I talk to myself. This is how I tell myself that now. Honestly, I I have transcended the need to tell people what they should do or give them my solution. I'm a 5-1 profile, and I'm the solution provider. That's what I'm here for. But it doesn't mean that I have to tell every person what they that I have to offer my solutions. And also my life's work is gate 8, is the gate of contribution. So this is me. It comes to me how and what I contribute, my energy that I don't have. I don't always have this energy, right? So yeah, I really have transcended this need um, to just give my advice and my solutions freely. It's something like I don't really give a shit. It's like you're your own experiment. I trust in you, and that's what I keep telling to this person in my own, like in my head. I trust in you that you can do it. Um, so I hope it really helps you. Just maybe a different perspective to really think about that. So yeah, no magic button. I'm afraid you just sit and wait and bite your tongue and do it. The more you do it, maybe it's, I don't know, guys, just share with us. Does it probably comes, when you see that it works, when you see that initiating doesn't work and the price, it comes with its price, and you see that you have success with waiting, that's what you can lean on. So think about your successes with when invitations, like real invitations, come to you, and that they came from waiting, because the invitations, they actually come from waiting. But that's what we already said. Even Kari share the, it's not that you sit and you just sit, in your PJ, year 2 3, you show up, you do, you it's an active waiting. You show up, you study, you show your mastery, you get to know yourself, you can study your own human design in the meantime. How do I best speak my truth? Okay, that's another favorite thing. Let me see, this person doesn't have, okay, so it's ego and solar plexus defined. So we know, to share, you need to be invited to share your wisdom, right? It needs to be some sort of whatever you see. This invitation is it's a really interesting energy, and it's yours to use, and it's yours to experiment with. What you feel, it's an invitation. How you feel, it really, how does it feel when you invite it? Maybe it's a subtle, it could be subtle, I don't know. Think, tap into this and yeah, and test it. So this person here, maybe there's probably many of you with undefined fraud center. So often and this is what I catch myself, even though I have defined fraud center, but I have open head and open ajna. We like to, as people, think what we kind of like plan what we're gonna say. And in many circumstances, it doesn't work. In most of the circumstances, it doesn't work. And especially like in this example, if you are a person who has undefined fraud, you speak in a moment. It's like you tap into a moment. You feel you're invited to share, and it's not something that you can plan. So, and you literally tap into like energy of this person, because undefined fraud has this wisdom to know what this person needs to hear, right? It's not what you've got to say, it's what this person needs to hear. It's like this, like the intuition, because if you speak to someone who has defined fraud and you have undefined fraud, they define your fraud, right? They give you this definition. So then it's something, okay, it changed, right? There's the feeling in your throat, it changed. The way you want to express the expression, you feel that it changed. So you tap into this, and you always, if you are in the moment, so how to share the truth? Be in the moment. It's important for people with undefined fraud to be present in the moment, and not to plan what you're gonna say, because it's not possible for you, right? You're only gonna be bitter and frustrated because you won't manage to say what you've planned. You'll be just disappointed at yourself. So it's more about tapping in the moment. And the moment changes. The people you're speaking with, they change. The energy changes. The energy is different. So how they define you, it's different. And it's like trusting. It's kind of like with undefined for people. It's like as if you channel all the time, literally, right? You tap into the person you speak to and you tell what this person needs to hear. And it's very intuitive. And this person, see, has, wow, uh, see, gate 57 is the intuitive gate. Even though the spleen is undefined here. But again, like the gate 50, let's count, right? It's a design moon. Pluto, the truth, right? So it's so important for this person to trust its intuition. And this intuition, it comes in the moment. It's in the very moment. So how do I speak my truth? Tap into the moment. And freely you are asked, and then freely share what you feel, what comes up, comes through you. It's literally as if you were a psychic or channel kind of in this moment. That's what this energy is about. So trust, but you need to be in the moment and don't write scripts in your head because you're not gonna say it, and then you, as I said, you're just gonna be frustrated because I didn't say what I planned. I can't say what I planned too. You know, I'm an open head, an open ajna. You know, my mental process is just undefined. I mean, for me, is undefined, and so there's no possibly I can say out loud. You know, I speak from my emotions. You know, we speak from different sources. I speak from my G center because I have G center. My throat goes to my G center and to my emotional center. So I speak from my truth. So now here I'm just speaking from my truth, and I can't lie. I'm a really bad liar, and someone who has the definition from the throat to G center, they bad liars because the moment they ask, they speak from their true self. They speak from their identities. I speak from my identity, and I speak from my emotions. This is how I speak, and that's consistent for me. But for a person who with undefined thought, it's never consistent. It's always ever changing. So that's why you need to really trust the moment. Challenge between like okay. Attracting the clients and being able to track the client's social media by referrals, probably my fourth line. Right, again, these people, you're not sure about the niche. I'm not a business coach, again, so just take it or leave it. Again, what these people come to you for, what you recognize for. Are you recognized for more level life coach, self-love coach, mindset? What even the people who come from referrals, what they come to you for? Is it a theme? Can you tap into a theme? What do they want? Well, yeah, what do they recognize you for? I think that's what is. And is it something that you love? Of course, I believe that you've got is a free options. Maybe, yeah, and they can change. You know, these invitations can also change. So just keep observing on what these people come to you for. And yeah, fourth line loves referrals and something that it's really, but it's not only for fourth line, it's for projectors. You really I believe that many of you can with businesses, you can see that referrals really work well for you. If you know someone, especially like know someone and someone knows someone, that's how it really works very well for you. Okay, quick, where do I start? I mean, with the condition, right? So I've got two charts. I've got a mental project, is exactly the same question. And it's about the conditioning process. So what is, as I said, study your openness, right? Study the openness. The conditioning likes to, obviously, is mainly in our open centers. So no, study the open centers. Come for the reading. I'm happy to do a reading for you. For anyone who's here and hasn't received the reading and you feel that I'm the right person for you, I'm happy to invite you. I know that's not the personal invitation. I don't see you. I don't speak like it's more like a open invitation. I'm happy to. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to help you with this, because that's what I love to do. I want to do, and what I can do. You know, me, my gate 8, it needs to know that I can. So I'm contributing here. And yeah, so study your openness. It's in the openness, but also in the imbalances. That's how I see this. And also in the imbalances of your definition on, even though something is defined for you, it doesn't mean that it's defined. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing to do there. No, no. What is the shadow expression of your defined centers, defined channels, and know what is the shadow expression, what's the high expression, and see where you are, because that can also be hidden in the imbalances of your defined centers. And recognize yourself. See, recognize yourself and tap into your mastery. So yeah, the openness. So that's how you we can start with. And also, right, and for you as a projector, every time you feel stone in the shoe, every time you feel the stone in the shoe, I invite you to focus on the stone in the shoe, to focus on this discomfort. Don't ignore it. I know it's so easy to ignore it, right? Oh, again, or it's them. Even if people project on us and we feel discomfort, think about this discomfort, right? Because this discomfort is yours. If people project on you and you find you don't feel anything, like you don't feel any discomfort, obviously that's them just projecting you. But if there is even a subtle discomfort that you feel, tap into discomfort and ask, dig it into it, like literally dig into it, right? Take a driller and just dig into it. Don't ignore it. Sit with it and ask this discomfort, what is it really about? What is it really about? What is the fear? What am I worried? What is this part of me that I don't recognize? And see it, love it. Let it to tell you the story, what it's all about, right? You worry that you miss out, dig into it. What is this really about? Especially when you feel this discomfort, you sit with a friend, you really badly want to say something, you bite your tongue, she doesn't want to hear this, she's clearly not asking for your guidance. Sit with this discomfort and ask, what is it really about? Focus in this very moment onto this shoe and stone in the shoe, stone in the shoe. If you feel this discomfort, it's yours. It's yours to ask. So that's the is even here the mental projectors. I I have virtual friend who's a mental projector, and she's in Australia, and we only speak virtually, literally never met. I actually hoped she was over in UK in May. I hope to see her, but we didn't manage to. It was also on busy schedule. I was on holiday also at the time when she was in the UK, so we didn't see. And really, like, oh, I feel kind of like regret. I really wanted to meet her in person. So that's the only in my life mental projector that I am actually aware of. I don't know all of my friends' charts. I don't ask for it because I don't need to. There's one thing I'm going to share with you. It's when you study human design, study your own. And Kari even shared with us that she studied her own chart. It's a really beautiful thing because, I can see that, especially for projectors, for all of us, but especially for projectors, because you are so focused on the other and your aura is so focused on the other. You don't know yourself, right? It's just because how your aura is designed. You focus on the other and you kind of forget to get to know yourself. And even with human design, that's what I observe. It's like people study astrology, human design, and they, instead of learning their own charts, they, dig into like friends charts, family charts, and forgetting about themselves. Yeah, study your own, get to know yourself, leave others, like, again, you know other people, we need to get invitation to dig into other people's energy, including myself. Why do I want to, as a manifestor, to, why do I need to approach my neighbor and like, oh, you know what, when you were born, can you tell me? I just need to create your chakras. I really need to get to know you. Why? I could, but why do I want to? Why would I need to? I don't give a shit. I know, I want to know my own. Of course, I use it, also professionally, but I started for myself, and I really encourage you to do so. Right? I know it's easy also because you're so focused on the other, right? To study something, to do, okay, I just have a little look at my mom's chart to see. Look at your own, study your own. And for mental projectors, you have so many open centers, and I know that could be, a lot of the conditioning, and it's, yeah, and the mental. I love, Angel, how you said that your partners, that how his mind is beautiful, because it is. And that's what I said. I really regret I'm not aware of any mental projectors in my life, because I would love to sit with them and speak, and hear what they've got to say. And it must be totally how they feel me. Even, I would honestly want to ask them how they feel me. um because they feel it all, like feel it all. And it can be, and I can understand that, can they feel lost, all undefined, most, not all, but most undefined centers. And they do have this beautiful mind that I wish I knew someone. So start with learning how the whiteness, how the openness runs its show, right? How the root runs its show, and observe, tap into this, catch yourself in the very moment, and with every other centers. What is this? I struggle with feeling fulfilled most I'm also listening to my intuition and knowing what I want to career wise and feel me happy. So needless to say, haven't been able to reach the success for projectors, even though I don't feel the bitterness, at least not near as bad as I used to. I've been working on myself for 5 years, and I wish I felt a little more subtle financially and appreciate answer guidance. Yeah. So I would say I think we kind of covered it all now by now. Um, it's, recognize yourself, recognize your mastery, study your mastery more, learn this, show up, tap into what you love to do, and tell us, share with us what you love to do. Show yourself, don't hide yourself in the room. It's a self-projecting projector, so my first advice would be have someone that you can speak to, that you can share your thoughts, that you can share your mental process, because that's how you tap into your truth, tap into what you love to do. Self-projecting projectors or mental projectors, they might not, if they only keep, they mental process inside of their heads, they don't have this clarity even what they love. They don't have this clarity what they like to do, because they need to, like, hear themselves, right? Talk about this out loud. If hears even for me, it hears differently in my head. It doesn't feel in my head, as empowering and as bright as when I actually talk about this. Or sometimes when I talk about something, I'm like, that's not a good idea. Like, it doesn't sound good, really good. It doesn't feel good. It felt maybe good, my mind wanted to pull me into my shadow, but I'm like, I just said that, oh, that doesn't feel good. So talk about this, especially for this. Oh, Kari, and I intuitively knew somehow to leave you last, because we want to hear from you again. I don't know, I speak for myself, I want to hear from you again. So I hope that's okay that you have to wait. So let's see. Or maybe you want to just, is that okay for you to just, because you're here live with us, can you just please unmute and just share? I'll invite you to speak if you want to accept my invitation. Is it you, Cardi? Am I right? Is that you?
Was that
Yeah,
an
that's you.
invitation for me?
Yes, that's an invitation for you, because I have your chart here. And I said that I intuitively knew to leave you as the last person, because this is how we can close, right? This is how we can do the closing. And see, this is how things happen for a reason. So instead of me reading it, if you can just share, if you want to.
You want me to read it?
No, I want you to say it. I want you to say it. Oh, you don't want to. If you don't want to, I can read it out. Just let me know what you prefer.
Well,
Do you want me to?
I talked a lot about the fact that I have over 4 decades of personal growth and working on myself and trying to understand life, planet Earth. That's been my curiosity since I was a child, this whole life on planet Earth thing. How does it work and stuff like that. I spent a couple decades following a shaman's path. So whatever. I'm a 6'2", so I see solutions easily.
You're a transmitter. You have a design of transmitter. Well, I've already said this. We've already discussed that. I've already discussed that in the previous. So you have 2644. You're a transmitter. I do have this design as well. It's transmitting the source.
That has been, understanding that particular channel has probably been my longest contemplation. I still don't really, I mean, I've got the 731 and the 1333 that I understand. I understand my defined gates, and I understand the difference, but my perception of defined and undefined gates, which is completely different than Ra's. But the 2644, every once in a while, I spend some time there trying to find that connection inside of myself that says, oh yeah, that's it. You know, I've read everybody's definition of it, from Buddha to Richard Rudd.
Yeah.
If
I can stop you here.
Yes.
This is I also have 3 channels like you, and also have this channel 2644, and I have to agree with you that this is the channel that I least understand. Like, I feel that there is, like, that I don't fully see its potential in me. It's also quite, I see that I don't quite get it as yet, right? I'm still observing, and I'm still like seeing it.
It talks about being a good salesman. You know, you can sell anybody anything. I'm sorry, that's complete BS in my particular situation, complete BS. And I used to teach sales because I used to be a trainer. So I used to teach sales. I do not have natural salesmanship in any way, shape, or form. What else about it? Doesn't it also have something in there about you find it easy to talk to people with, I think it's the 26? Yeah. I don't find that true. So the bottom line would be, for the people who are on this call with us, that, like I said, I have not spent this 4 or 5 years that I've been working on this learning about sliding into, what does this gate do? What does that gate do? Is it a hanging gate? Is it a defined gate? I learned at least 2 or 3 years ago that takes me down a rabbit hole. Until I truly understand what it means to be a projector, until I truly understand 6-2. I shouldn't go any farther. I even have things that I've created for people if they're going down the rabbit hole that they can look at every day to bring them back to, I'm a 6-2 projector. What does that mean? You know, and until you have that, my own personal opinion is don't go any further. Don't look at lines. Don't look at all those things, because it's just going to take you down a rabbit hole of confusion.
And even on the, like, again, it can bring you back onto the initiation path. It's like, okay, I've got this. Let's just, you know, initiate from that. Yeah, it's like studying. I actually, you know, it's like how I feel. I mean, that's my journey. For me, the profile comes like, it's so like, whoa, like obvious, right? Then that's for me. Then is the manifestor, my manifestorness, right? It's like my profile is so boom, like it is like the main thing. If someone asks me, like, what is one thing you really truly feel about this human design, like I'll be like, it's the profile. It's studying my profile. Then for me is the type, and then, you know, okay, what it means to inform. And then it's like, okay, but how does it feel for me, you know, to inform? What's there when I don't want to inform? How does it feel? And it's, you know, tapping into.
Now, is inform a part of your cross? Where does inform come in your profile?
Well, I mean, and I'm talking here about the strategy as a manifestor, right? To inform.
Your strategy is to inform. Okay, thank you.
My strategy, yes. So my strategy is to inform. You know, what does it even mean to inform? Just like you keep maybe asking yourself, like, what does it even mean to be invited? And yes, it's a really interesting energy. Like, to be invited is an interesting energy, and it's yours to use, and it's yours to feel, and it's yours to tap in. Okay, that maybe is, and try like baby steps. Okay, that maybe was an invitation. Okay, let's see this. Okay, that wasn't okay, but that was something different. Let's see, in an experiment. It's the same as for me. What does it mean for me to inform? And if I don't inform, and if you don't want to wait, why I don't want to inform, right? What's there? What is my fear that I don't want to inform? Obvious, it's the rejection.
And there's so much to that.
Yes,
like people just hear the word inform and think they know what it means, and I'm telling you, you don't. You know, my 6 role model to hermit, you might just say role model and hermit. I'm telling you, there's 30 other things that has to do with that 6-2 that until I got that, which means I read everybody's interpretation. The person's, by the way, the person's interpretation of the crosses that I love the most is Shaitan Parkin. He has a book called Book of Lines. Oh, this is the wrong one. This doesn't have the crosses in it. Destinies. He has a book with a blue cover that's something about destinies. He has the best explanation of crosses. I probably read 30 other ones before I got to his and went, oh, now I can feel this one. But the other ones just kind of went, their words. There she is. Thank you, AF. That's the Book of Destinies. Everybody else is what I could, it was words. It was just words. It was just words until his.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta completely understand those profile lines, not just the words.
No, and see how, I mean, also go back to this, you know, like, of course, the first stage is knowing about this, right? Whether it's from the book, from the video, or from somewhere. That's just this. It's a tiny thing. And then seeing it, like observing yourself, like seeing how is it manifesting in your life, like how is it happening, right? That's maybe how is it happening in your life, how you relate to this, you know? Yeah, and it's observing.
In the 6 profile, which a lot of people on here know because there's 6 profiles, there's the 3 stages, and the first stage is from birth to 30. And there's lots of different words that people say about this. But before I found out about human design, I was starting to say, when I was in my 40s, 50s, and 60s, what happened to that person I used to be? what happened to that? Then when I found out about these 3 stages things, and I looked at the first blank years of my life, the 0 to 30, then 30 to 50, and doesn't work for me. It's the wrong years, but I experimented like crazy. I challenged everything. I lived a dozen different places. I was with a dozen different men. I tried a dozen different jobs. I jumped off bridges. I found notoriety. I dined with presidents. I lived at the bus depot. I just experimented, finding out what this life thing is. And 30 years later, I have a lot of knowledge as a role model because I did those first 30 years. So all of a sudden that made sense to me. That person that I was when I was experimenting is not who I am anymore. I'm a role model now. But
Yeah.
I didn't understand that until I understood the 6.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'd love to, oh, that's the stage I'm in, Alana's saying.
Mm-hmm.
The book was The Book of Destinies, and the author is, if you'd hold that up again, AF, his name is Chetan, Chetan, Parken, Parken. Thank you. I love everything that he does. This book stays on my desk and I reference it all the time when I'm working with people. He has the keenest, you know how everybody has changed what Ross saw, right? Karen Curry Parker has her way that she sees it, and Christine Inge has her way that she sees it. He's got the most time in. He probably has 40 years now, and he has gotten his interpretation of these things by watching people and working with people and everything else. He's one of my ace people on discovering everything about gates and lines and. But mostly that Book of Destiny is talking about the cross, because my cross of incarnation, as I said a moment ago, the person whose chart you had up had the cross of incarnation. I have the cross of incarnation. I've only met one other person in these classes who has the card of in the cross of incarnation, and somebody here had it today too. So, well, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's just maybe recap. I don't want to keep you any longer.
Okay.
Unless, please,
Okay.
keep, maybe if anyone has a question, maybe anyone wants to
Oh.
share before I.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I saw in here that it said, that I've created a course and it's the Sacred Journey from Wounded to Magnificent. And that falls into the person who says they don't know what their niche is. And I almost want to suggest you to stop looking for your niche, but what
Exactly.
you can look for is, where have you healed? Like, I was a broken woman. I found out one day I'd been crying every day for 2 years. I was a wounded woman. What happened to me? I found the way out of that. Took 2 years, but that became my niche, wounded women, because I knew how to help them. So don't be looking for things. Well, I know about that, and I know about that, and I know about this. This could be my niche. This could be my niche. What's the biggest thing you've taken care of in your own life? And that's where to start for that niche, I think. What do you think about that, Ola?
But I think this is really, well, especially is great for 6 lines, because sharing your experience, 3 stages, especially you, you've been in, through 3 stages, how it feels. So sharing your experiment is really great for 3rd lines as well. But what I actually feel, this is how I see, generally projectors, when I obviously observe some projectors, like doing online business and doing some sort of coaching, whatever they do. It's how, when you actually share your experience, no matter, now I'm actually talking, no matter whether you're 6 or 3 or whatever, it really, it magnetizes people. Like it's like sharing your experience with something, and then you experimenting with something, going through life, your ups and downs. It really is something that we want to hear. I want to hear.
Okay, here's the difference. It's your genius. As you're going through all those experiences up and down and all the rest of that stuff, did you develop something that almost nobody else's, other people aren't going through, but you have become a specialist. It's your genius. You know, I know how to get wounded women to go from having a complete lack of love in their life and they feel like a walking zombie, to feeling wonderful about their life again, because I did that. So, and that became my genius. So that became my niche. So what's your genius? Find your genius. Don't be looking for your niche. Find your genius. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And I see, I have a friend who's got her own online business. She is a projector. She's an emotional projector 6'2". And, I work with her also. We together work as like a channel, for her business, and combine them with human design. And there's always like share experience. And she's also 6'2". So like for a 6'2" or third line is like even double that. Like really, people, you are here for some reason to be sixth line or third line. Obviously, we know the sixth line has been a third line as well. It's just for the reason, like we need your story. We need your story. And there are also other even channels. I'm not gonna go over all the but there are channels that they like, okay, share my story, like my channel, right? 35, 36, right? It's obviously manifesting channel. None of you would have that. It's like, I'm here to share what I've been through, what I've experimented with. That's the collective channel, right? So there are other channels that also like, okay, yeah, that's the experiment. So share it. So yeah, and especially for projectors, like sharing what you've been through is really magnetizing. It is really magnetizing. This is where the wisdom comes. What I even said at the beginning is the school of life. Is the school of life. Mm-hmm. And this is how you with your aura, when you penetrate people, when you get to know them, this is how you get to know them, even without telling them, without guiding them. You get to know them, and you have such a wisdom about what we need as people, what we really need, how we can go through this change that we've been going through, because you've studied people. Yeah.
Hey, this has been a really good, it's longer than the ones I usually attend because I, like everybody else, have all my time scheduled, blah, blah, blah. But you've kept this very interesting. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. And I want to thank everyone here, every single one of you who's here live, who's survived nearly 3 hours, and who's watching us on replay. Let us know. So let me just do a quick recap, right? Because it's all about the aim is to help you, with your deconditioning. So what is under this invitation, right? Really know and love your projectorness. Is it the word? This is how can I use it? Projectorness. Love your projectorness, study your projectorness, embody your projectorness. Feel about.
I'm going to interrupt. If you find yourself saying, oh, poor me, I'm a projector, I can't work 9 to 5, I don't have any energy, I'm sorry, forget my swearing, bullshit. I know 100 projectors that have more energy than anybody else in the world. And it's because they're doing what they love, what they're passionate about. So forget about having motors or not having motors, because that just throws a blank in your blank and tries to stop you. So the minute you find yourself saying that or thinking that, throw it away.
Yeah.
Like Ola says, love your being a projector. You're a blessed person that you decided to come down onto the planet Earth and take this role. You just need to figure it out, find out who you are, what's your genius. That's your goal, because you've got something here to do with this world. So love it.
Yeah. And we need you. We need you to use your energy wise, right? To love yourself. We don't want projectors who hate themselves. We don't want projectors who don't want to be projectors, and we don't want projectors who are not projectors. If you are a projector or not, I can be a manifestor if I'm leaving out of my manifestorness, or I can be just a homogenized person. I can be a manifestor or not. You can be a projector or not, right? we have our own energy, we have our own role here. So love your projectorness. And I go back to what I said, because I'm recapping here. If you feel this discomfort, this stone in the shoe, stop and ask yourself, what is it really about? Write it down. What is it? Is a question I encourage you, I invite you to keep asking yourself daily, because probably daily we feel some sort of discomfort, right? With something, with people, not maybe daily, but often, let's say weekly, or at least weekly, there is something that comes up. And that's an opportunity for you to awaken as you. That's not something to dim your light. It's something that you can use as an opportunity to light up, to be fired up, to, just be this ball of energy, that we need and that you can guide. And another thing, trust in your aura. Your aura does the thing. Honestly, sometimes I'm sure you can even think about situations that your aura guided somehow, people, without you even speaking out.
When you're in alignment with yourself as a projector,
yeah,
when you're in harmony with being a projector, you shine. When you are in doubt or wish you had energy the way other people do, that's a complete fallacy. When you have any of that, you don't shine. People aren't going to see you. You've got this thing holding you in. So
my gorgeous balls, my diamonds, I love you all so much. If you're new to the channel, subscribe.
Sorry, I'm just 2 seconds. I need to.
I do appreciate it.
Hey, F, do you have some sound going on in the background?
Oh, mute. I've muted. That's okay. I've muted. Okay. So I've managed to mute. Okay. It happens. That's okay. It happens. So
yeah. So when you're in harmony with yourself, when you're in line with your genius, you shine. Bottom line. Spend as much time there as you can. When you're not shining, find out why.
Yeah, and when you're in this state that you feel sorry for yourself, you hate your projectorness, or it's okay sometimes to wake up not in the mood, right? Yes. But if you, it's like, then if you are not a projector, by being a projector, that's the opportunity for people to recognize you for who you are not. That's it. So don't be shy, speak up. Sure, like we need to hear. For me to be able to accept you, I need to know what you are, who you are, what you love doing. And I don't want in my team or doing or collaborating with people, even spending time with people who they just don't know. Like, oh, I'm not gonna invite if I don't know what you love. And I also don't want in my team or having to do something that if you don't love, if you don't love what you do, I don't want you to invite. I don't want this energy close to me, because I'll feel bitter, I'll feel bitter, or I'll feel both frustrated and won't go very well. So share it, master yourself, like recognize yourself, start from yourself. Don't start from others, right? Start from yourself, recognize yourself. First of all, recognize yourself. And then you create this magnetic field and the invitation will come. Because I know every single one of you receives invitations, and some might be subtle, more than, I don't know, invitation to join for a career or something, but you do. And I see this and I observe this, and I can even see, like, when I observe my friends, I'm just like feel so left out and I don't get really these invitations, like, but I see something different, right? I see that they do, but they don't see, because why? Because they're in this victim mode.
Victim mode is the devil to us.
Yes, it's a bitch.
Don't let him in. Don't let him in.
Yeah. Yes.
And when she's talking about when you're feeling off center, when you're feeling out of harmony, I don't know what other people do, but I immediately go to the Gene Keys and look up my shadows. And almost always, whatever it is that has got me or bothering me is in one of my defined shadows. And now I know what to do with it, because they're the gift that I'm supposed to learn from that shadow is right there in Richard Rudd's analogy of how to do this. So the shadow, the gift, and the city, if you don't know about that, it has to do with gene keys. But the shadows are the things where you become a victim,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you become, where you fall into the pit of a particular gate versus being at the glee of the gate or in the learning phase of the gate.
Yeah. I love gene keys. And I think I'm at the point that I work more with gene keys. I'm for myself than human design. Yeah, more human design, just literally observing. That's where I'm at, the observation stage. That's where, it's, we can learn about something like from books all the but we need to leave it. We need to observe it. We need to see it. And I know I use this word observe often because that's what I really want you to do. No, I don't want you to do. Don't, I'm not saying you to, I invite you to do, to observe. I'm not your authority. So don't listen to me, but it just invite you. If it feels right, and observe yourself, really observe yourself. And yeah, and one more last thing, it's again, when you don't feel recognized by someone or you don't feel that you are invited to share, it's again, it's like trust in this person. I trust that this person can do its life without you, like, directly giving your advice, right? Directly telling, because they can do their own life, they have their own authority, and that means that they're not ready to hear, they're not ready to listen. And at the end of the day, you never know for sure what's correct for them. They know for themselves. And that's it. Thank you so much. And I mean, that's been longer than I expected. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know. You can even message me. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to connect with you. Whether it's Facebook, it's probably the best way. You can share in the group, in the group. Your experience, your findings, your stones in the shoe, and what you love to do. Share with us. Yeah, how you tapped into your mastery. Yeah, we want to hear. If I don't know, I want to invite you. Right. So thank you so much. Take care, and I'll see you in the group. And yeah.
Are you doing another one of these?
Yes, I'm gonna do it for all of the types.
Oh, all of the types.
All the types. So I'm not sure for all of the types. Am I,
5 of
repeat
these?
for who knows? Who knows what this manifestor, is inspired to do tomorrow? It's the life of being a manifestor. I just, follow my own creative flow. I don't even know what the next type is gonna be. I don't have clarity as
Do
yet.
you know when it's going to be? Like, is it going to be once a month or what? You haven't decided yet?
I haven't decided yet. No, I don't have clarity as yet. So yeah, when I know,
I don't want to push you.
Yeah, when I know, I'll share in the group. So yeah.
Well, I'm
really,
really happy you started with projectors.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. Just that's like when I actually had clarity to do. So I was like, boom, that was first, like projectors, right? Projectors, because I have many projector friends. Yeah, I just feel connection. I know, that's what and Ra said, that from Ra points of view, that the dance isn't really a dance between them, but we don't have to dance. But I'm just happy to sit in Aurora. We don't have to dance. I'm a bad dancer. I won't initiate dance. But I'm happy to sit in Aurora. Okay, so take care. All the best to you all, and
good job.
Bye.
Bye.